is the Night Owls Disc Golf Podcast. My name is Ben.
I'm Michael.
I'm Matt. So weird. Night owls? Whoa.
Yes. Life just kind of got in the way. Shane and JP were unavailable for tonight's recording. So tag team us in. The Casual Relief guys are here for a special episode of Night Owls. Not so special in terms of like content, but just special in that you are hearing a couple of new voices if you don't listen to Casual Relief. So hopefully in the future maybe we'll do a little pod swap and those guys will record an episode of Night Owls. So that'll be fun.
Relief.
Or Casual Relief. Yes. Thank you. Thank you for correcting me.
Flippity
We're
flop.
all getting our lines crossed. It'll be an interesting episode. But that being said, Casual Relief is Night Owls' sibling podcast. The three of us host that. That is disc golf content coming at you that is not so current event specific or tournament recap or news. It's more or less just kind of broad topics where we kind of break down and give our 2 cents. But we'll get into tonight's episode. I, unlike Shane, do not have anything thought-provoking. So we'll just kind of give a rundown of the episode.
I have something thought-provoking.
Go ahead.
Oh.
What do you got?
Best type of gummy snack, whether it be fruit snack, gummy bear, gummy worm. What's your opinion?
Sour Patch Kids.
Ooh, yeah.
Fruit gusher.
Like just the regular like OG Gusher?
Oh yeah. OG fruit gusher. Yeah. Is a fruit gusher a fruit snack? Is it a fruit snack or is it like a candy?
I think
That's
it's a
my
fruit snack.
thought-provoking question.
I'd call it a fruit snack.
Look it up on Reddit,
but
folks. It's very highly debated.
Mine's Haribo gummy bears. Big time.
Very nice.
All right.
Very nice. It's a good choice.
That's my thought-provoking question. Right?
All right.
Little nod to Shane a little bit.
There you go. All right. So we'll get into it. Socials. So night_owls_pod is where you can find the Night Owls podcast. Night Owls on Instagram. Doordisc.com for all of your disc golf needs. What am I missing? Am I missing anything? Facebook. All your favorite podcasting platforms. Be sure to check out Night Owls there. Given a rundown of the episode tonight, we are going to be discussing the Ledgestone recap that just happened, that just wrapped up not too long ago as we record this. Throw Hanger Flipper we'll get into coming up. A couple of other things, and then we'll have random question. And I am currently trying to get a shop update from Kevin Koska of the Door Disc Golf Store. So at least have that. So we can kind of round out a full episode for you. Like I said, we're getting into the episode. Throw Hanger Flipper. Anything you guys got? Go ahead.
Yeah, I purchased a Horizon DD1 yesterday, and then threw it today, and it's going to be a thrower for sure. Great little in between of a destroyer and a wave for me. So nice little pop it up, ride, get a little bit of turn out of it, but so much glide. So very happy with that purchase, and I'm excited to throw it more.
Nice. I bought a Glow Hex and a Glow Proxy on Saturday. Probably throwers. I think the MVP Glow Plastic's a little bit more stable or overstable, so maybe throw that in, for once my one of my proxies gets a little bit more beat in and starts to flip a little bit more, kind of cycle it out, and hopefully have a premium plastic that will survive a little bit longer, or just some good glow rounds. I mean, both those discs are in my regular bag just in general, so good to practice with the same discs and maybe throw some glow rounds with them.
Nice. I didn't buy anything. I haven't bought anything in a minute, but the thing on my up is an Alien. That's just like the one kind of thing on my list just because I think it'll be fun. So whenever those kind of come out, I think it'll be definitely on my list of purchases. Can
we do a review of your most current one of your disc golf purchases?
One of mine?
Birdie Pro.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yesterday we got it. Yesterday we played it. We broke it out and played it. My first official round of Birdie Pro since it came in.
So
Yeah, we played. No, it's not. What is it? Fox Run.
Fox Run, yes.
Fox Run. For some reason, for everyone that's local to Wisconsin, all I could think of was Fox Valley. Fox Valley Open
Not
for
the same.
tournament.
Yeah,
But not the same.
no.
Fox Run Meadows. It came down. So all three of us played, and it came down to the last hole where I was down by 2, and on hole 18, Fox Run, I almost so close, one dice away from hitting an eagle throw in on 18 at Fox Run, and I would have been part of then a 3-way playoff, but I did not, and so I bowed out.
Yeah, it would have been
a playoff happen.
Would have been a crazy end of it because I bogeyed it, you would have eagled it, and Ben parred, I believe. So yeah, it was
Yes.
very, very wide range of emotions there. That at one point during that round, I was 5 over par after taking a 9 on one of the holes in 2 OB strokes. So shout out to Scrambleless Shannon for being the best card in the game, the best player in the game. But I eked it out over Ben in the playoff. It was fun. It was a really good fun. The adjustments they've made to the game are really, really good. And I feel like it's a little bit more simpler, kind of more cut and dry than the previous game. So really fun.
Yeah, when it came down to it, Ben, you only explained the rules for 5 minutes?
Mm-hmm.
10
Yeah.
minutes, if even that?
Yeah, I think a lot of the base of the game is true to the original, but then obviously with the updates and stuff, it was just kind of a quick read through of the rules. The biggest change was the warm up zone, and we figured it out relatively quickly. So it's very much improved, very much a good time. So shout out to Steve Dodge and his brother for really upgrading this game and really making it a lot of fun. It is my understanding that this is the final version of Birdie, and then everything else after this is just going to be expansions. And I know that they're working on the Preserve will be the next course that they're coming out with. So Birdie Pro, a lot of fun. Highly recommend it to anybody. If you're a disc golf fan and you love board games, it's a good time. So yeah,
Big time. Sweetness.
So looking at the list of just stuff that we've got going on tonight's episode, next thing, we're going to kind of tweak the Why Do You Suck segment a little bit. It's just going to be part of your game. We're going to discuss part of your game that you're most proud of in this very moment and what part of your game needs some love.
For me, it is definitely my putting. My putting has been, with the exception of hole 17 at Ridge on Sunday or Saturday. But those were a couple of misfortunate. That hole lives inside my head rent-free at this point, from whatever tee pad to whatever basket. But my putting's been pretty solid. It's been saving me a lot of strokes and giving me a lot of opportunities when I do get in the circle. Circle 1 putting's been really good. Opportunity, I would say it just rehabbing the shoulder a little bit more, getting that power back, getting that confidence to be able to rip on a shot and not have to worry about it, and get back into that. So pretty basic 2 things, but my putting has come a long way even in just the last year or so.
Yeah, big time. For me, part of that game I'm most proud of right now has been my forehand up shots, specifically with my zones. I have been sticking it pretty well close and occasionally throwing in quite a few times with those shots. So the forehand, which is not my strong suit, it's been clicking really, really well for me. So that's very nice. And then part of my game that I need to practice a lot is shot shaping in the woods, specifically with mid ranges, using the entire fairway. So starting a disc out on the left side and then turning it through the fairway using all the fairway. So really dialing in that release angle and pull through so that I can use the entire fairway for the shot. And typically my miss right now is that I just then yank it over to the right immediately instead of starting it on the left and work it over to the right. So yeah, that's me.
Nice. The part of my game that I'm most proud of right now is I think just like my approaches into the green. Whether that's with like a mid or a putter. I've been really happy with that as far as just like, especially like recovery rate, like if I'm off the fairway or not so far down the fairway, but being able to recover and and still get up and down. That's kind of what I'm most proud of. The part of my game that needs a lot of love right now is that I feel like off the tee, I'm just kind of a spray chart and I need to dial it down and have better, if I'm going to have better misses of lines. Like it feels like I'm just kind of all over the place. So I think that just kind of comes with just working on it in the field, or just kind of working on it more. But so that's for me that's just kind of what I need some more love on.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on to our next segment tonight, we're going to recap Ledgestone. Does anybody want to give us a rundown of kind of what happened, and then the rest of us can kind of weigh in there?
I mean, fantastic golf all weekend. Before we even announce any of the winners, holy moly, just some shots out of people that you didn't expect. Some runs made by people who you didn't expect, like Brody at one point being tied for first in was it the second round or the third round?
That would have been Friday, I believe.
Yeah, so second round.
So second round.
Second round. He was in a tie for first, and then he dropped all the way back to like 18th or something, and then finished outside the 30. Or I'll have to double check that. But
yeah,
hole
12 got him alive.
Yeah,
just like it got a lot of people. But anyway,
speaking of Brody, notable misses from the cut. Ezra Adderhold did not make the cut, and then neither did Gavin Babcock. So two big guys that you expect to kind of be on over the top. But I think that just kind of shows like the teeth of like a Northwoods. And if you're not on it, like, the whole time and you're not with it, you're going to pay for it. So, and it looks like kind of down the stretch, those guys really paid for it, unfortunately.
Brody ended up finishing in a tie for 34th. So whew.
All right. You want to give us our winners?
Solo 34th. Okay, so an MPO and taking it down, we got Cole Redolin. One of his biggest wins. If
I would say his biggest win. His biggest win.
Yeah, it's his first Pro Tour win.
Yeah. And then Calvin Heimberg in the 2 spot, notably 5 strokes behind Cole. And then Ricky rounding out the podium at 28 down, 3 strokes behind Calvin, and 8 strokes behind Cole. So Cole wrapped it up pretty decently in that final round, shooting a blistering 14 down, and was able to withstand an ace by Calvin in the final round. Which, holy moly,
there were two aces. Two aces back to back.
Could you imagine racing down someone in the final round of an event, and then hole 10 you ace? It's just wild to me. I can't imagine it. But that's
it's important to mention that Andrew Marweed aced, and then as that lead card is tapping in, the rest of the group is tapping in, the crowd erupts from the chase card because Calvin had just aced. So in a matter of less than 5 minutes, there were back-to-back aces. Andrew Marweed throwing in a forehand, and then Calvin putting in, I believe, a 475-foot ace.
Yeah.
So just some exciting times for the
Just-
folks out at the Ledgestone Open today.
Nice to see some emotion out of Calvin. I was upset with him earlier in the week because like he on 18 in the third round, or it's the second round, he like doinks a straddle putt.
It was like a 15, 20 foot putt.
Yeah, and just like no emotion from him, which I don't know if his good mental game or but just kind of gives off the vibe that he doesn't care, and obviously he cares. Which I don't think you're doing this if you don't care. But just to get him fired up a little bit, I would love to see that, and so it was great to see him get fired up on hole 10 and after the ace and just be super jacked. I think it would be one of those things just like I would love to see as like a fan is for him to be a little bit more vocal and a little not swearing or doing anything all that on the course, but actually showing some emotion and being frustrated about it rather than just looking careless. Like, oh, I missed it. Bummer.
Yeah, show something.
We'll get more into Calvin in a hot second here, but do you want to give us our FPO?
Yeah. So taking it down, we got Big Money Missy at 16 down, and she shot all rounds under par, I believe. So way to go, Missy. Notably in the field absent of Kristen Tatar, she got it done big time. Then in second place, 12 down, Owen Scoggins. And then tied in third, Sarah Holcomb and Ella Hansen at 11 down. So absolutely fun. I didn't get to watch enough of the FPO coverage. I typically tuned in for like the last 4 or 5 holes, but can someone else give a little bit more light?
Yeah, Missy just played very, very consistent and good disc golf all week. Played a lot of smart disc golf. She plays the Ledgestone Open very well. Defending champion, so obviously there's a little bit of pressure on you when to defend. But Missy came out with a bang on Thursday at Northwoods Black, notably being the first woman to ever birdie hole 1 at Northwoods Black in competition. So, yes, Big Money Missy, as you called her, came through and on her first throw said, "I'm here to play and I am here to win." And just straight gas all week, just pedal down, and was really just driving.
I think that you see like the winning formula for women's golf is not so much, who can throw the farthest and who like is the biggest thrower out there, but it's the player that plays the most consistent and like just doesn't make mistakes. You think that with Kristen, this is going to be a super tight race, and you're going to have people competing at the top, and you did for the first round, you did for maybe some of the second, but after the third, Missy, playing consistent golf, playing safe golf, playing not really making a lot of errors out there, takes it home. So, in FPO, you don't need the distance, and you hear different other pros talking, about, oh, maybe I should be a little bit smarter. Maybe I don't need to throw it my hardest here. And it's just kind of a weird, like, transition from, like, the mindset in FPO that you don't have to throw it super far. You just need to put it safe, get your pars, get your birdies when you can, and, it's just different. It's just different golf than what you're seeing in MPO right now.
Yeah, and Missy averaged 992 golf.
Yeah, it's in the FPO field. It's hard to beat somebody when they're playing close to 1,000 rated golf.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Other notable things happening from Ledgestone. This was the first time that DGN had full coverage of all 18 holes in Northwoods Black, which is great to see. They did just openly admit like this is still a work in progress for them to be kind of on their own, like, I don't want to call it cell feed, but that was kind of the way I interpreted their release. So it was still a little spotty. They were upfront with that as far as like you're not going to have HD high quality picture, but you're still going to have something and you're going to be able to, kind of see. So that was pretty refreshing to see that. My next question is, should the Pro Tour abandon Sunset and should the women play at Eureka Temp?
I don't think so. I think Sunset is probably one of the more refreshing courses to watch FPO play on. I mean, you've got Holland Hanley last year, Cardinal Albatross, and I think did she get the Eagle this year?
I believe she did.
Yeah. So I mean, any chance you get to see the FPO just blitz a course, I'm super excited to watch that. And I believe it was also Holland who said that it was starting to play a little bit easy, and that the course designer, property owner, is willing to work with, making it harder and make it a little bit more challenging. So I would love to see them stay at Sunset.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on that same vein too. I think it's kind of nice to have two different courses where, if Sunset is, challenging the women and trying is good for the women, then keep it for the women. And again, because I like No Fun, we've mentioned that on Casual Release before. I'm not a huge Eureka Temp fan. I don't like courses that have that you have to throw around a baseball field or anything like that. I just, I'm not a huge fan of that. So I wouldn't mind going away from Eureka. Not saying that we should go away from Eureka Temp, but I wouldn't mind, not seeing the women on that course and them staying at Sunset.
Would you what do you think that the men should play Sunset? Do you think that they would just shred it? But you could always adjust for for par, or move some tee pads around, or add some art. You can kind of artificially manipulate Sunset to make it tougher. Would you be in favor of abandoning Eureka Temp and putting that to rest?
I don't know enough about Sunset in general, admittedly, to know if it would be good. I mean, I'm sure you can make adjustments and make it, but I do. The thing I like about Eureka is that it does have that history. It does have that it's one of the courses that we've played on for a very, very long time. So that's nice, and you get to kind of replay that during the live coverage and during any other coverage and the follow up to it of all the things you've done in the past. So really like that about it. But I don't have a viable solution for what would be better. Again, I'm not a huge play around the baseball court and play around, municipal court stuff. Yes, I said baseball court.
That's the first time
baseball court and municipal court. So apparently, there's now a courthouse in Eureka Temp that I have not heard of.
Court.
I haven't seen it either. I have also never seen a baseball court.
So if you get a speeding Matt, if you get a speeding ticket on your way to the course, you can just play hole 7 or something, and then you can go in and pay your fine.
Hit up the municipal court.
I mean, it's all about convenience, for the everyday person. So.
Oh, baseball court. Oh,
baseball courts.
Oh man.
No, I don't think I'd like to see the MPO tackle Sunset. I think that there's a really good feeling that Sunset is for FPO, and it's because MPO sometimes gets their own. Is this the only place our MPO gets its own course and you split? That's
one of the only
question for now.
I would say one of the only.
I'm trying to run through. I
think it
so,
is one of the
so
only.
LVC. I think that the women play.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I mean that's all the same property, so that's why it gets a little tricky. You don't really think about it. I don't know if I'm sure when Shane or whomever listens to this, they can correct me, please, if you do. I don't believe the men play, or I don't believe the women play Innova. The Innova course No, they do. I'm wrong. They do. Because I remember I remember because I was there and I was texting you guys and I was like, oh yeah, no, they do. So Vegas is not it. But they might not play another one. So maybe because there's 3 courses out there, so maybe they don't. I'm not sure, but I know that
I
they
would
have
say it
both.
is one of the only. Like, if there is, like, there's not very
It's one
many.
of the only.
Mhm.
Yeah, we'll cover that base with one,
Yeah.
if not the only.
Mhm.
So I think that's it's a good event distinction. Like you
Yeah.
make this event like special in that way.
Mhm.
And we've talked about it before on Casual Relief. Like, what are you doing to make your event special? And I think this is a really good way. Not only do you draw a lot of pros for the big payouts, but then also you get all the AMs that are there to play those courses as well. So I think that's a really, really good event distinction.
So that's a good spot to pause it and end it there for Ledgestone. We will move on. Coming up next is going to be Idlewild. So this is another event. This is an event where one course is utilized the entire event for both the men and the women. I have played it. It is very fun. It has had some changes over the years, some different holes that pop in and out. But Idlewild is a really fun event every single year because it has a nice mix of things. And it's also an event that anybody can win. I think last year was when we first got the taste of Isaac Robinson really bursting onto the scene. So looking ahead,
he mopped up the field last year.
Yes, he did.
He absolutely mopped.
Yes, he did. So looking ahead, do you guys want to make some Idlewild picks?
I'd love to.
Yeah. Let's do it. Let's do it. I'll jump.
I'd say I'm wild to make some picks.
Oh boy, go ahead, Matt.
No, I don't want to after that. Yeah, so I'm going to about as good as my baseball courts do. All right. I'll start off with MPO. I'm going to take Mr. Richard Wysocki in the 3rd spot. I am going to take Mr. Consistency, Calvin Heimberg, who can't seem to find his way off of a podium this year. There. And then I am going to take the defending champion, Isaac Robinson. I do feel like it's a course that plays really well to his game. And obviously he showed that he can play really well here. And he's due for one. He's due for another big win. So taking him. Do you want me to do it? You're going to MPL right away.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. In my 3 spot, I'm going to take the local, Zach Arlinghouse. In my 2 spot, I'm going to take a Mr. Bradley Williams. He missed cash, so I think that he's going to come back in his silky smooth form.
He's a spicy guy.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I'm going to pick kind of a little wild horse kind of guy, but I think Aaron Gossage is also going to put it together, and he's going to take it down. So Aaron Gossage at the 1 spot.
Long as Gossage can get his putt figured out, I think he was one of those guys that was really close to the cash line this weekend, I think. So if he didn't,
he was very close to the
cash very, very close. So
taking some bounce back players, and maybe not the players that you'd most often see. But Bradley Williams had a really good showing over in Europe, aside from the European Open, in his couple events that he played beforehand out there on the European swing. Yeah. I'm not saying that I am going to put in Paul McBeth as a what do you call him? A caveat pick, but Paul McBeth notably is registered for this event, and he recently said after dropping out of the European Open that he was getting all of that testing done to see what was kind of up with I think it was his shoulder.
Right.
So he's gonna test that up, and currently he's registered to play. Welcome back, buddy. But I will leave him off for now, but I think it's going to be very interesting to see if he actually plays, or if he continues to take some time.
If he plays, do you put him in your top 3?
Yeah, I would probably put him in the 3 spot.
Okay.
Instead of
Zach.
But
Yeah.
But I'm not sure, so it's not worth it.
Yeah, right, yeah. Safe rather than sorry. Ben, we're up to you. Your MPO picks, sir.
Yes. So for some reason my mic disconnected, even though I've been sitting here. And when your mic disconnects, everything disconnects, and then you have to come back in. So I'm back. But my MPO picks, I am going to pick. I'm going to pick in third place. I am going to pick Anthony Barella. Ooh. In second place, I'm going to pick Chris Dickerson. And then in first place, I'm going to go James Proctor.
The proctologist.
I'm going with 3 guys that I think are knocking on the door, have been playing some good golf, that I think that that Idlewild really sets up nicely for them, because Idlewild, as you've seen on coverage and you've seen other things, it's really a mix. There's some bomber holes and there's some open holes. There's one hole where you just grip and rip, but you still have to be pretty technical because of the way that the OB is designed. So I think that those guys play, Anthony can throw. He's, obviously he's got the distance, and I think that I don't want to say that it was like a wake-up call for him, but after European Open, I think it's just like one of those things where he's just like, we gotta play smarter golf. So I think he's really going to kind of learn from that. But James Proctor just is a very like overall like well-rounded disc golfer. Like, so I feel like that he's also, and like I said, a guy that's been knocking on the door, and he's due for one. Like he played on like the lead cards this week. So yeah, feel really good about those picks for me at least.
Nice. You want to swing right away to FPO?
Yeah, I'll do FPO for sure. So looking at the list of who's there, I'm gonna stay with the hot hand. I'm gonna go Owen. I think Owen. I'm gonna pick Owen just because I'm gonna pick Owen for the win. I'll go in reverse order. I think Owen's gonna win because this is, again, technical course. Got to hit lines. So, like, I think that suits her very, very well. And it's a good equalizer for the Bombers on the FBO side. Second place, I'm going to pick Alexis Mandujano.
Ooh.
Alexis has just been playing well. And then in third place, I am going to pick dark horse, Madison Walker.
Ooh. Love it. Absolutely love it. If we're following form, I'll be next. In my 3 spot, I am going to take Sai Ananda. In the 2 spot, I am going to take Katrina. And then, getting it done for the first time, I am going to pick Maria Oliva.
Oh.
Haven't seen much of Maria Oliva in a while. She did play well this weekend, but that's a name that we haven't talked about or heard much from.
Mm-hmm. Very nice. In my 3 spots, I am going to go with a more conservative Holland Hanley on the 3 spot. And then I'm going to go, I switched it around last minute, pretty much my 1A, 1B. But I am going Owen Scoggins in the second place position. Got all the same points that Ben made. I think she's got a really good shot to win this, and she's a grinder. Just listened to her interview on a different podcast, and she plays an insane amount of practice rounds. She puts in the work. She does it all.
Strike the practice rounds, just the amount of putts.
Yeah, right. Just in general, she puts in the work.
Says 300 to 400 a day.
Yikes. My shoulder aches for that. And then Owen Doggins. And then I am going to go I'm going to go 2 in a row for Missy Gannon. I think this course shapes up really well for her as well. Again, being conservative, the tricky OB that can be on this course, playing some safe and conservative shots, and riding the hot hand. So I'm going to go Missy Gannon again for the win.
Right on.
Sweet.
All very solid picks. We'll definitely be looking to see what Idlewild has to offer. From a personal standpoint, I've played it. It's a lot of fun, very tricky, very woods, a lot of woods. But it's also just fun. Like, this is a fun course to watch. It's always a staple. Always a well-run event. Nice finishing hole. So yeah, we'll definitely be looking forward to seeing what's to come. We are getting closer and closer to Worlds time. So just looking ahead at the schedule. So we've got Idlewild coming up this weekend, followed by D-Glow.
They're putting on some miles.
Yes. So they're doing
Illinois,
that.
Kentucky, back up to Michigan. Whew.
It's really Ohio. Like, you cross in from Cincinnati and then you cross right in. But yeah, they go D-Glow, and then they go the week of August 30th through September 3rd is Worlds. So yeah, it's a big trek coming up here. So we are getting into the nitty-gritty in the heart of the disc golf season here. We got two majors, a half major, and Throw Pink. Really should just be a major, but this is it. And then we got playoffs coming up. So this is really it. This is grind time for these folks to get some points. Taking a look at the standings right now of who's kind of on the cusp of things, and then we'll go into one of our discussion or final kind of big discussion topic here on the MPO side of who's on the outs. Robert Burridge is going to be the first one out because Parker Welk will jump in because of his win at DDO, although he is presently injured. He has a bad ankle, so he DNF'd this weekend. But I would expect for him to be healed up well before the Tour Championship. But notables on the cusp, just below the cut line, is going to be so Robert Burridge, like I said, is the last out, followed by Nico LaCastro, Brody Smith, Eric Oakley, Paul Ulibarri, Andrew Marweed, Chandler Kramer, and then other notables down the line: Gavin Babcock, Greg Barsby, Matt Bell, Drew Gibson, Luke Humphreys, Casey White, Big Germ, Nate Sexton. So a lot of these guys that we know are currently not going to be participating in the Pro Tour Championship. And then on the FPO side, right on the cusps, Lisa Fakis, Holly Finley, Hannah Wynn, Deanne Carey, and then Juliana Korver. Juliana Korver has a few events left to make up some points. Juliana said this year that this is her last year all in on a tour because she just her goal is just to play in the Tour Championship. Juliana Korver means so much to the sport of disc golf that I think that it would be a bummer if she didn't make it, but she's super close. Sayananda's last in with 467, and Juliana has 421 points. So with a playoff event coming up here, I think that this is her time. Other notables not in the Tour Championships: Alexis Mandujano, Evelina Salonen, Cynthia Ricciardi, Madison Walker, Erica Stitchcomb, Paige Shue, Leah Sinagini, Caroline Henderson, Val Mandujano, but we know why for that one. Kona Montgomery.
Also DNF this weekend.
And then...
Oh, yeah, Corey Ellis. Corey Ellis DNF'd. Ledgestone.
Yeah, he did.
It's true.
Wrist pain is what he said. He felt pins and needles in his wrist after throwing 2 rounds a day in practice, and then he felt it in hole 8 was when it happened in round 2. And then he tried to play through it hole 9 and decided that his health was more important than trying to push through the round. So
makes sense.
Speedy recovery there, Corey.
wholeheartedly agree with that. Take care of yourself. As we just mentioned, the schedule only gets a little more difficult from here with the amount of travel and the pure toughness of the events coming up.
Mm-hmm.
So any final thoughts on the schedule coming up, Idlewild, or anything else like that before we move on?
I don't think so.
No, I'm excited for Worlds, man. Worlds is going to be great.
Mm-hmm.
Love those courses up there, so it's going to be fun.
All right. So let's move on. The question that I have for you guys, he currently has a 200 at the time of recording this. I don't know if it's been updated yet after Ledgestone, but Calvin Heimberg has a 212 point lead in the DGPT standings. Over his last few finishes, my question for you is Calvin Heimberg still the best player in the world right now?
Yes, he is, because he has shown that even his meh rounds still end up putting him in a podium spot, and not that he was really in contention today, because while he was within 2 strokes, towards like the hole 10 to like hole 15, Cole was able to just then turn it on and, get that gap back to where it was, and ended up winning by 5. But the fact that Calvin's so rounds are still putting him in contention and solid podium, I don't think you can argue against that.
Yeah, I don't think you can either. I think it's super hard, and I think that like in golf in general, like whether it be ball golf or disc golf, I think consistency is key. And if you're consistently in the top 5, we'll say, there's a lot of guys that flex through, those top 5s all the time. We've had more unique winners this year than we've had in years, if not all time. Like in more first time winners. Like the field is so different than it used to be, where like one guy would just have this complete dominance. So I think seeing the days of complete dominance is over, where someone's going to rattle off, 6 or 7 Pro Tour wins in a season. So to be, I think last I saw his average finish was like 3.8 or something like that. And it only goes up. It only goes down. Yeah.
That's unreal.
So to be consistently, that, I don't think anybody's close, like to that in general, because everybody, has a really good tournament and then almost misses the cut or finishes in 30th place. Like, so I think that, I agree that Calvin is the best player in the world because he's the most consistent player in the world right now. Again, my only frustration is I wish he could take one of these down. I wish he would take, because, if you think about it, if someone else rattles off, what if Corey Ellis or Isaac Robinson take down Worlds, or they take down an Elite Plus or a playoff event or something like that? Then you look at, if one of these major winners rattles off 2 wins, then who's your number 1 player in the world? Who's your player of the year? So I think Calvin really needs to at least get another win. If not, hopefully a major. And, that would be solidified at that point. But it's just tough for him to... I think he's the best player in the world currently because of his consistency.
So just a follow-up question too for that. How many more wins / top 5 finishes do you think Calvin needs to lock up player of the year?
I think he already has, but I think that I think he just needs to play well. But I think from just a personal standpoint, I think that if he, personal for him, it's just a true testament of how bad he wants it. If he doesn't win a major this year, I could see there will be people that would call this season a bust for him.
Yeah.
And I think that if he was honest with himself, I think that he might say the same thing if he doesn't win one, because he has been so close in so many events and he hasn't finished. Some of them have been out of his control, of just like somebody popped off in something and, just did something, something crazy. Some of them have just been,
No,
of his own volition.
Up by 2. he was up by 2 going into European Open
Yeah.
final round, and they lost that.
I mean, he was
The last-
leading this event. He was
Yep.
leading Ledgestone for a little bit. Like, it's not like he doesn't have chances. He just has to close, and I don't think he's necessarily choking. It's just that, like, there's no fire, there's no killer instinct that is, all right, I need to put the pedal to the metal and really do that. Like, it just that's the frustrating part for me with him is there's not that emotion, there's not that fire, there's not that Paul Macbeth beast mode finish. There's no Ricky like death stare and raptor leg excitement to really get it going. So it's just tough for me to to see it because he could have so many more wins, but he's kind of let him slip away.
Do you think that that's kind of beneficial for him almost, that he doesn't have to get into that like super focused in state and he's still rattling off scores like this? Because like you've heard Paul Macbeth talk about it, you've heard Ricky talk about it, like getting into that zone is difficult and then exhausting. Like, not saying that he's choosing to not do it or like,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
But like he's saving himself a lot of like mental like taxation if like maybe I'm just like talking from the head.
I just don't think mental taxation is a word in his dictionary because he just is so calm and so like collected and so just whatever, cool.
So is that a like a detractor? Or
it's good and bad. It's good and bad. It's good that he can get into a flow state and that he doesn't let bogeys or anything negatively impact so much. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, caddies are a touchy subject in this sport for some reason. People you either love them or you hate them. But I do think that Calvin would benefit from a caddy. He doesn't ever have a caddy, and if he does, it's Madison Walker, and she's just kind of along for the ride, many other caddies are. That I don't know if it's like a mental. I mean, it's part mental for him that he doesn't have that killer instinct. So I think then that's at that point, like if you don't have that intrinsically to be like, I need to, to go for it, then I think then you need it extrinsically. You need a caddy. You need somebody to say, hey, bud, like, we need to take our medicine here, or hey, you need to put something on this. Like we need something, So like, again, I'm just a guy, but I just think that would be something that would benefit Calvin. I think because like he took a 5 on 18 in round 3. Where if he had a caddy that just said, hey, we got to get up and down. We're just gonna get up and down. We're gonna get out of here. And we're gonna focus on tomorrow.
Well, he takes a 5 because he misses a 20-foot straddle putt. So like that's where like that caddy it's like get him more in the zone and more just hey like this putt's important. And not that he doesn't know that putt's important, but just you make 20-footers in your sleep. You make those putts all the time. So it's just it's one of those weird things that I think that little bit of direction and focus would probably benefit him a little bit.
Yeah.
What do you guys think, real quick, just wrapping up on Calvin? Do you think, is this a bust for Calvin if he does not take down Worlds or USDGC?
No. I don't personally think so. I think that this is his best opportunity to take one of those two down. In my opinion, USDGC is kind of a, for lack of a better word, a crapshoot anyway. Like, you're going to get, I feel like we've had, if it's not Paul Macbeth winning, it's somebody, it's a first-time winner generally. So, and that course is, again, 50-50. And then, like the courses for Worlds are not easy, and they're not it's anybody's game at this point. So I just think with how close the field is that, it's anybody's game. And I don't think he would be a bust. I think if you don't win Player of the Year and you don't, do those things, then you're probably like, holy crap, what did I do? Like, how did I mess this one away? But I don't think it's necessarily a bust of a season if he doesn't win a major.
I think for us outside looking in, it's not a bust. But I think in his mind, probably, like, yeah, I had this great season, but I didn't cap it off with a major. Yeah, I had all these great top three finishes, but I didn't do it when it really, really counted.
I think that's just the athlete mindset, though. Like the athlete mindset is
but
if if you're first, you're last. Like if you're not first, you're last. Like you're always looking to win, and if you don't take down, if you don't take down worlds that year, it's a bust. That's been Paul's mentality for years now.
Yeah,
and it's worked for him. But
So
I would agree with that.
I think, Calvin's 28, so he's entering the prime of that athletic career now, mentally, physically. So that killer instinct is just, it's got to happen, because there's that short 4 to 5 year window where you could, because I think that's right. That was right around Paul McBeth when he won a Grand Slam. He was right in that kind of range, entering that range. He was 26 probably, I think, when he was.
I think yeah.
When that was happening in 2015, 2016. So Calvin's in that window. So I feel like that's where, for me, again, just a guy, I think having that kind of that external a little kind of kick in the pants would be helpful. But yes, yeah, I don't for me, I don't think it's necessarily a bust from us looking to win. He's won a lot of money. He's won events. He's been
won
in the
a lot
mix.
of money.
Yeah, he's been in the mix of pretty much every event he's played.
Yeah.
Been on a ton of lead cards, but I think if you asked him that he had, if he goes in and if he ends the year and he's got four top 5 finishes or top 10 finishes at majors, and he didn't seal the deal in one of them, I think that he's disappointed with himself.
Yeah. But to answer all that, yeah, I think he's still the number 1 player in the world.
All right, gentlemen. Random question of the week. What are you currently obsessed with?
Currently obsessed with? Oh my goodness. I would say I am currently obsessed with how to figure out my shoulder and what is going on with my shoulder.
Yeah.
And I am insanely, to the point where I'm insanely stubborn, and I should just go to a chiropractor or I should just go to a doctor and they'll just tell me what it is. But I would rather WebMD it and, look at the worst case scenarios and try every single stretch that, my Google machine tells me to, rather than
your Google machine's probably telling you you're dying,
or that
probably.
They need to cut WebMD, yeah. I am a WebMD professional, so WebMD doctor there. But I would say I'm obsessed with just figuring out different shoulder stretches, different ways to try to get it loosened out and taken care of.
Yeah, man, I guess it's been on my mind recently. But going back to school has been kind of what I've been not hyper fixating on, but I've been focusing on that pretty hard. And
that Hogwarts Legacy.
Candy Crush. Candy Crush.
Candy Crush.
Hit us with it. What are you obsessed with?
I mentioned this on the last podcast, but I was off of work this week. I'm in a transition between my old job and my new job, so I took this week off just to kind of recover and take care of some stuff on my end. But I'm currently obsessed with cricket, and I've been watching so much cricket. I watched so much cricket this week because I have an app that I can watch live cricket from all around the world. So I was watching Indian cricket, Canadian cricket, and then my favorite cricket competition, which is called the 100. So it's 100 ball cricket in England, and it's in every August. So I watched so much cricket on my couch this week and absolutely loved it. And I was just Snapchatting people just saying, I have turned into a British granddad. I am watching cricket in the middle of the day on my couch. But I said it last week and I'll say it again. Once you figure out and understand how cricket works, it's so much fun to watch. Once you actually understand it and you can figure out the nuances of like the rules and like how the scoring works and like all those things, I promise you people will be hooked. So that's a shameless plug to go watch cricket. But that is what I'm currently obsessed with, because like I'll sit on the couch and then they'll use some terminology that I don't know. So then I'll look it up and then I'll figure it out. And then you're just always learning something about it, and you're learning kind of those like intricacies. Like I would compare it to like if you just figured out what disc golf was, but then like you were hearing like Charlie Eisenhood or Terry or one of these people say, oh, he needs to throw a hyzer flip into the green or throw something, using these little terms. And they're like, what does that mean? And then once you figure it out, then you become kind of more ingrained into this world, and you are just like, you fully start to feel like you're a part of it. So like, I feel like that's why like I'm like becoming so obsessed with cricket, is because I'm learning so much about it that like, that's why I'm hooked.
Booyah.
Nice. Still something I have to dive into. You sent me the video that you mentioned on Last Night Owls. You sent me that video, and I've yet to watch it. So I gotta.
He's been focusing on WebMD too much.
Yeah. WebMD myself to death.
All right.
Did you get a shop update?
I did get a shop update from Kevin Koska, who manages all the new stuff coming in. He gets all that stuff on the website along with he and Joe. But I shot him a message and I said, hey, anything cool coming in the shop you know about, or anything you could provide for the shop update segment? And he said, just kind of what was mentioned last week. So nothing new has come into the shop. Physically, I'm sure there's orders that are out and about, or that Shane's working on, but the last stuff that had just come in, so the custom stamp discs from DD, those are looking sweet. You can get those in a variety of molds, so head over there. Glitches and hexes just came in. We had this conversation yesterday that seems like that's the only thing that's leaving the MVP warehouse these days, but they are super popular. So they got some Eclipse hexes that look pretty sweet. They got some swirly rims there, and then of course the number one disc of 2023, the Glitch, available in a variety of colors there. Still going on over at the shop is the, I'm looking it up right now because it is a very specific percentage off sale on a series of discs. 26.3% off sale. I believe, if I remember correctly, I believe they asked AI about the discount, and AI produced 26.3. So there are discs in the shop, and it looks like there's some backpack bags, a cadet backpack, and a Zuka cooler bag. That are so with some discs that are all 26.3% off. So if looking at it, it's a lot of EV7 stuff. So like it's just some wizards if you like wizards. So a lot of cool stuff in there that you can get for 26.3% off. Just some good stuff in there. So that's all I got for a shop update. Does anybody
still plenty of used discs on the site still?
Probably. There's still a lot of used discs. We don't know if JP dropped anything off or anything. Obviously, you still have a lot of used stuff.
I was super surprised that there is an entropy on there that I mentioned on Casual Relief probably a month or two ago, probably right when I sold the discs. That I'm like, oh, if this thing doesn't sell, I'm going to be super surprised. And by golly, I'm super surprised. It has not sold yet. So
it's sold. It's not on here.
Oh, it's not on there anymore?
I'm not,
because as of yesterday or the day before, it wasn't. It was still on there.
Maybe.
But regardless, if it's not on there,
is that an Axiom or MVP?
It is MVP. So
okay, I'm looking right now. But
cool little elephant stamp guy, yeah. Little plasma entropy.
And then not quite a shop update, but just a Door Disc Golf update. The Door County Flex 4 is coming up on the 13th. This month?
19th. It is the
19th. They mixed it? They switched it?
Yes, I believe it was originally the 12th, and it is now the 19th.
It was the 13th, and now they switched it. Okay, so they switched it to the 19th. So that's coming up. So if you want to go up and play around at Wildberry, that's a lot of fun. And $25 for your for
believe,
entry.
yeah, I believe the Trilogy Challenge is the next day then, the 20th, also at Wildberry.
So make a whole weekend out of it, and come on up and play a great course.
Right on. Well, there's your Door Disc Golf update. The last update from me, there's no entropy on the site. So
Oh, it is
there you
gone. Dang. Color me not surprised anymore. I knew it would
There
sell.
you go. Well, there you go. That is any last thing. Does anybody have anything insightful they want to say, or anything about that, or anything in general?
Just because I've been playing a lot of Hogwarts Legacy, make sure you cast Revelio.
Sure.
Perfect.
Good enough for me. That's how we'll end it. Doordisc.com for all your disc golf needs. Night Owl Podcast on Instagram. There's a YouTube channel. Forgot to mention that at the start. So there'll be some good content coming there. If you liked us and you want to hear more of our ridiculous banter, you can catch us out on Wednesdays on Casual Relief. But other than that, deuces
In the toilet
is how this podcast ends. So we'll catch you on the next one.
Bye.